All right, today we are diving deep into Chapter 8 of Glenn Shubb's incredible book, Life Actually. We're going to treat this as a straight up survival guide for anyone navigating the start of their career, because this chapter, it is a total masterclass in managing yourself, your time, and yeah, those moments that feel absolutely impossible. So let's just start with a feeling. You know the one I'm talking about. You're staring at your screen, your inbox is just exploding. Notifications are going off left and right, and you get that sinking feeling that you are completely and totally drowning in demands. Look, if that feeling hits a little too close to home, the first thing you need to know is you are not alone. There's actually a name for this, and the book calls it the modern work trap. Yeah, the book just nails this idea with the phrase 24/7 is the new 9 to 5. I mean, think about it. All this tech was supposed to free us up, right? But more often than not, it's just completely blurred the line, or erased it, between our work and our actual lives. And this is what that trap feels like day to day. It's the constant, nonstop pings from Slack or Teams. It's opening your calendar and seeing just a solid wall of color from back-to-back meetings. And it's that unspoken pressure, that feeling that you have to be online, ready to respond at all hours. And this quote from Shubb, man, it is a real gut punch. He writes, attention is not an infinite resource. They become brittle. That word brittle is just so perfect. It's that feeling when your judgment is a little off, your patience is completely gone, and you just know you're one tiny crisis away from totally snapping. So, how do we get out of the trap? Well, it all starts with rewiring our brains a little bit. We have to understand one of the most fundamental ideas in all of self-management, the huge difference between what feels urgent and what is actually important. Okay, let's break this down. Urgent stuff, it screams for your attention. It's the pings, the dings, the, hey, can you look at this real quick? It's all reactive. And yeah, checking it off your list gives you this little hit of relief. But the important work, that's the quiet stuff. It's proactive. It's the deep thinking, the strategic planning, the work that actually builds your career and makes progress. And like Shubb says so perfectly, urgent work announces itself loudly, important work is quiet. See, this is why our days get hijacked. We spend all our energy putting out these small, loud fires, while the quiet, important work, the stuff that really moves the needle, gets pushed to tomorrow, and then the next day, and the next. So if the urgent stuff is the villain of our story, what's our secret weapon? Well, Shubb calls it the art of sequencing. This is the really tactical part of the playbook. This is the how-to for actually getting meaningful work done. But first, we have to destroy a myth. The idea that multitasking makes you productive, it is one of the biggest, most damaging lies in the modern workplace. You're not actually doing multiple things at once. You're just switching between them really, really fast. And all that does is fragment your focus and, frankly, torpedo the quality of your work. And here it is. This is the big secret, the shift in mindset. Professionals do not multitask, they sequence. Instead of trying to do everything all at once, you do one thing, and then the next thing, and then the next, on purpose, deliberately. So what does that actually look like? It's pretty simple, just 4 steps. Step 1, choose one single task. Step 2, and listen, this one is non-negotiable. You have to silence everything. Close the extra tabs, mute your phone, all of it. Third, you work on that one task for a focused block of time, say 45 minutes. And finally, when that time is up, you deliberately switch to the next thing. That's the whole game. Okay, so that's all great for a normal Tuesday. But what happens when things go completely off the rails? Let's talk about the framework for handling those super high-pressure, impossible moments. Oh man, we have all been here. It's 4:45 p.m., you're trying to wrap things up, and then an email lands, an impossible request with a crazy tight deadline, and you can just feel that panic start to bubble up in your chest. So the amateur move is to panic and just start grinding. The pro move, it's to assess. So first, you just stop. You pause, you take a breath. Then you run through a quick mental checklist. 1, what is actually being asked of me here? 2, what parts of this are fixed and what might be negotiable? Is the deadline ironclad or could we maybe adjust the scope? And 3, who else gets pulled into this mess? Now this is so crucial. This whole process isn't about figuring out how to say no. It's about arming yourself with the facts so you can have what Shubb calls the priority conversation. You go back to your boss not with a problem, but with a picture of reality. You say, okay, I can absolutely do this, But to do it well, this other thing has to move. Which one is the real priority right now? You expose the trade-offs so that everyone can make the right decision together. And all of this leads us to the bigger picture here. I mean, managing a crisis is a great skill to have, but the real goal is to build a career that's actually sustainable, where these insane fire drills are the exception, not the everyday rule. This is your playbook for self-management. I want you to let this quote really, really sink in. Self-care is not optional. It's not something you get to once everything else is under control. That moment rarely comes. Thinking that rest and sleep and disconnection are some kind of reward you'll get to later, that is a one-way ticket to burnout. It's a core requirement for success. So let's lock in the big takeaways from this chapter. Number 1, urgency is always going to be loud, but your real job is to protect your focus for what's actually important. Number 2, ditch the multitasking myth. Professionals sequence. It's one thing at a time. Number 3, when you're overwhelmed with demands, don't just work harder. Have the priority conversation. Number 4, when that impossible request lands, you assess before you react. And finally, number 5, self-care is not a reward you earn. It's a fundamental requirement for a long and successful career. And we'll end on this, a question for you to take with you. If you were to change nothing else, what is the one habit we talked about today that would give you back the most control over your time and your attention? Really think about it. Because whatever that is, that's where you start.